Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, January 16th. Okay, so we're entering into the day with the moon still in Leo energy, but it's void, of course. We went into this void at 11:11 p.m. last evening. We are going to sit in this void until 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here today, at which time the moon is going to shift into Virgo energy. So again, I kind of touched on this yesterday, but the transition out of Leo energy into Virgo energy is always noticeable because, of course, the Leo energy, we're in the heart space. We are building the boldness, the bravery, the courage to not only express ourselves with the new ideas, with the new passions, with the new desires that we have, but we are getting heart aligned, building in excitement, building in that passion, in that desire to bring something new to life, to pursue a brand new path. Although that fire energy has us hot to trot, when we shift into the Virgo energy, which is an earth energy ruled over by Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, suddenly we get all up in the headspace. Suddenly we lose that excitement. We're questioning that excitement. Suddenly we have to focus in on the problems that are going to prevent us from actually pursuing this new path in order for us to fix them, heal them, repair them, resolve them, in order for us to come up with a plan, basically. So we're all up in the headspace, and of course, that doesn't feel so good because we're beating ourselves up, we're breaking ourselves down, we're focused on the details, but we're also a little bit of a negative Nancy about it. And so this is just the process of discernment that we have to go through in order to take this new emotion, take this new passion, take this new excitement or this new desire, this new spark, if you will, in whichever way it actually kind of unfolds for you. And now we have to kind of pick it apart. We have to see what we can do with it. We have to plan around it. We have to be logical and rational about how we're going to bring this particular fire, spark, and flame to life. So with that being said, let me just be very clear. Today has a lot of conflicting tension point energies. Reason being, we are nearing the end of Capricorn season. And again, I'm going to invite you, who haven't already, listen to that Ascension forecast where I talked about how Capricorn season illuminates where it is that we're feeling held back, restricted, limited in our lives, mostly due to the routines, foundations, and structures that old version of self had built and created. We're supposed to feel trapped. We're supposed to feel like we're 500 pounds running through a thick, let's call it muddy grossness. Because this is an earth energy, I'm just saying, like, this is like a sinkhole. We kind of fell into it, and the more you move, the further this little sinkhole kind of sucks you in. And so the whole point towards the end of Capricorn season is to feel that breakdown point, because the Aquarius season that we're about to move into here on the 19th, that's going to be the breakthrough energy. But you got to have a little bit of a breakdown in order to appreciate that breakthrough. And here today, specifically once we move into this Virgo energy, because it does need to focus on the issues, the problems, in order for us to fix them, heal them, repair them, we are going to become a little bit more tunnel visioned, if you will, on the things that aren't working, on where we do feel trapped, on where it is that, again, we're banging our head against a wall. So there are 11 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them are going to be involving the moon. The moon in this Leo energy, in the void, is going to make a positive interaction with Jupiter, planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, who, of course, is retrograde in Gemini energy. So again, this is fire and air. We love that because a spark happens. There's a combustion, if you will. Our heart and head are in a certain alignment in order to see where we do have the options and the opportunities for growth, for creativity, for coming up with new solutions to some long-term standing problems. This is going to shift our mental plane because, again, Jupiter in this Gemini energy, very divided, very polarized between the choices, options, decisions that we currently have on our plate. However, there's going to be a trigger, an activation in our heart space that has us leaning towards one path, one direction, one decision over the other. We're feeling good. We're feeling confident. We're feeling positive about things, and we're definitely leaning into that. The moon in Leo energy is then going to make a very positive interaction with Mars. Mars is the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger. He is currently retrograde, but in Cancer energy. Again, his ass is sat on the bench. He has to kind of reassess where his emotional fuel, his emotional drives are, where it is that he has to nurture and nourish himself back to a place of emotional stability in his inner realm before he goes ahead and starts kind of making improvements and adjustments out in the external realm. This is a beautiful energy because we're really getting in touch with how we feel about certain ideas that we're excited about, that we're motivated about, that we're determined to actually see through. This is a boost in our confidence. This is a boost in our boldness and our bravery. Of course, we would love to take action upon it. The only actions that are really being available to us at this particular time is to take action to either fight, defend, protect what it is that we've already built and created, or take action upon releasing and removing a lot of the aspects that we're realizing are actually holding us back because they're dead weight. Nonetheless, we are definitely feeling the hype. We're feeling the pep in our step. But here's the thing. The moon goes ahead, then makes a very uncomfortable interaction with the sun in Capricorn energy. Now, here's the thing. When we have a spark, when we have a new idea, when there's a new emotion, when we're excited about it, we're motivated about it, we're determined to actually see it through, then the negative force energies pull us back in order to kind of, take a good look at it and play devil's advocate, so to speak. The sun in Capricorn energy, of course, wants us to stay exactly where it is that we are until we have thought of a logical, practical plan, a strategy in order to bring this baby to life. And so anytime that the sun and the moon are coming together, there's going to be an aha moment of what it is that we want, what it is that we need, what it is that we desire, and how to go about doing it. However, this particular realization is coming out of tension and conflict. This is almost like the Capricorn energy comes in, knocks the wind out of our very excited sails, and says to us, okay, if you're actually serious about this long-term goal, vision, and dream, if you're actually serious about this passion, about this pursuit of happiness, of joy, of creativity, you got to get your shit together. You got to get a little bit more serious about it. You have to stop avoiding doing what needs to be done in order to clean up the old, in order for you to pour all the time, energy, and attention into the new. So just as we're building and cultivating this excitement, the spark, fire, and flame within us, suddenly we take a good look around because the sun is about, our physical realms. Capricorn energy is the physical realm that we've built and created. Suddenly we're going to be illuminated to where it is that, guess what? We have some work to do to remove the blockages, remove the foundation structures, whether that be routines, relationships, the way that we move throughout the day, the way that we're making money, however it manifests for you, because we all have different areas of life that we've outgrown. This is going to be like roadblock. Like just suddenly when we were excited, now we start seeing all the things that are going to get in our own damn way. But it gives us the realization on what we need to put on the to-do list to actually remove, release, or change, transform in some way to free up the lane for us to actually move on and move forward. The moon in Leo then goes ahead, makes a very awkward interaction with Mercury, who happens to be in Capricorn energy as well. So our heart space, the moon, our head space, Mercury, they're not really on the same page because, again, Mercury in Capricorn energy wants us to stand still right now in a state of paralysis while we actively try to figure out what needs to be done. We are not, I'm going to say, moving an inch in any kind of direction unless we have a well-calculated plan. Now, even more than this, it is a little bit tricky where communication is concerned because, Mercury rules over that too. The moon in Leo is highly expressive, wants to get a lot off of our chest, wants to be very true in being real and raw and vulnerable, especially with what it is that we're feeling. Now, Mercury and Capricorn, on the other hand, don't really care much about feelings. Feelings aren't going to make you money. Feelings aren't going to fix your life. Okay, feelings aren't going to do anything for you, especially if you don't have a proper plan in place to kind of act upon those feelings and know that you are not only building this inner realm of excitement, but you're actually doing the work in the exterior realm to make some progress towards this new goal, vision, and dream. So we're not on the same page, not in our heart, not in our head. It's a little bit of a negative narrative, kind of knocking the wind out of our sails, so to speak. But again, giving us a different perspective to get serious about what needs to be done in order for this pursuit to actually begin. We have the moon making a very awkward interaction with Neptune. Neptune is in his rulership in Pisces energy, ruling over our spirituality, our intuition, our dreams, our creativity, our imagination. This is a little bit of a not so good vibe where we're losing faith. We're losing a little bit of that earlier motivation because, again, the confusion surrounding how it is that we're going to go about doing this is thick. We're not seeing the vision. We're not seeing the end goal. We're just we know that something's exciting us. We know that there's something new there. We've just started scratching the surface about it. But as far as how we go about like bringing it to life or pursuing it, we have no damn clue. And so now we're overwhelmed. Now we're kind of confused. Now we're speaking fear into something that we were excited about, and ain't nobody got no time for that. We do have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves, making a very tough interaction with Jupiter. So here's the thing. We have Mercury in Capricorn energy. We have Jupiter retrograde in Gemini energy. And Gemini energy and Capricorn energy are I'm going to say, elements that get along the least. Meaning Gemini energy is all up in the headspace, but also debating between very polarized, very dualistic type of choices, decisions, options, and opportunities. Mercury in Capricorn energy is so hyper-focused, so tunnel visioned that we don't really have time for the flip-floppiness of that Gemini energy. Yes, Jupiter here definitely wants to expand our mental plane, wants to give us some big ideas, if you will, and we were likely going to have those big ideas, but it's so big that we are kind of in a situation where we're overestimating what it's going to take to actually bring these ideas to life. And we're kind of over exaggerating our abilities or our capabilities at this time to actually bring it to life. And so when I say do not jump into anything, do not commit to anything, I mean it, because there is a high probability, a high tendency to want to jump in, to want to commit and quote unquote figure it out as you go. You are going to bury yourself in commitments and obligations that you are not going to be able to live up to. You are setting yourself up for disappointment if you're doing that. The details are not the details aren't in the right order for you to understand what is actually being asked of you to go ahead and actually commit to this idea or commit to bringing this project to life. And so the goal here is to avoid making commitments, avoid making promises to yourself or to anyone else that essentially you're not going to be able to live up to. You're not going to be able to fulfill in any kind of way. We are at this particular juncture not as well equipped, well prepared, or well informed as we need to be to kind of, again, align and externally commit to making some of these visions, goals, and dreams come true. We have the moon in this Leo energy. We're still void. We are going to be making a tough interaction with that North Node in Pisces. And so again, the North Node is trying to get us on the right path, and in Pisces energy, trying to get us on the right spiritual path, the right path in order for us to have a relationship with something greater, to trust our gut, to trust our intuition, to trust a greater, grander plan. And so right now, again, we are second guessing ourselves. We are not feeling so good, not feeling so hot. We are not feeling bold, brave, and courageous. We are unaligned with whatever it is that we were aligned with earlier on in the day. And instead of having faith and trusting the plan, we are now so overwhelmed that we're speaking fears into it, and that does not feel good. However, 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon will be shifting into Virgo energy. The moon in Virgo is a time where we are all up in the headspace, and be very careful with what's going on in your headspace, because with Virgo energy, because it's an earth energy ruled over by Mercury, whatever it is that we focus on tends to be what we manifest. And yes, there is a high level of judgment, of criticism, especially towards oneself, that comes with that Virgo energy. Again, it is the healing axis. We want to heal the physical realm. We want to heal the physical body. We want to heal the mental plane. We want to focus on the problems in order to fix, heal, and resolve them. That's what that Virgo energy does. And so we kind of shift into this Virgo energy and we sit in it for a couple of hours before anything happens. Then we have the sun in Capricorn energy making a very tough interaction with Jupiter, who of course is retrograde in Gemini energy. So this is going to trigger some restlessness. We are not really content. We're not really satisfied with what's going on. We don't want to accept life as it is, because this is not the way we want it to be. And instead, we want more. And when we decide that we want more, whatever that more is for you, suddenly, instead of holding a good vibration, a good frequency to encourage us to manifest that more, we can very easily slip into that scarcity mindset, realizing that we want so much more out of life that we start getting a little bit down, a little bit negative about what we actually have in life. And may I just remind you that many of us are currently living the prayers that many of us had many, many moons ago. So we have to exercise the attitude of gratitude, which of course isn't going to be super easy under this particular influence, but realizing what you want more of should encourage you to do better and be better so that you can pursue whatever that more is to you. We don't want it to push us into a scarcity mindset or get down about it or get like wah victimhood mentality over it. What we do have to understand is that Jupiter tends to magnify and therefore over exaggerate our state of being. And right now, our state of being, because of the sun in Capricorn, is a little bit pessimistic, a little bit negative Nancy. We do have the moon in Virgo energy making a very tough interaction with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is in Aquarius energy. So normally you usually hear me talk about how we love Virgo energy interacting with Plutonian energy, because Pluto does a deep dive on the psyche in order to illuminate where it is that the ego programming and conditioning and indoctrination is actually harming us instead of actually supporting us. And the Virgo energy, because it's ruled over by Mercury, which is the lower level intellect of the ego plane, whenever we're illuminated to an inner dialogue, an inner narrative, an inner belief system that is kind of, got planted in us as a younger version of self or wherever the case may be, we're able to flip the script on it. Again, the whole point is to identify the problem in order to fix it, heal it, repair it. So unfortunately for us, the realization of our negative ass mental plane, of our pessimistic mood and attitude, of the fears, doubts, and insecurities, the anxiety that we're creating within ourselves, even though there's no reason to actually have that level of worry and anxiety, that is how we are going to be illuminated to what needs to change. That Aquarius energy that Pluto's in is the highest form of our intellect, while Virgo energy kind of operates from the lower level of our intellect, because again, Mercury is the lower level of our intellect. And so there is going to be this observation, if you will, on where it is that we're bullying ourselves, where we're the ones not encouraging and supporting ourselves, where it is that we have this weird narrative of telling us, like trash talking ourselves. And in that moment, we realize, oh my goodness, I'm the problem. And in that moment, you have the ability to, again, flip the script, to fix it, heal it, and repair it. We have the moon in Virgo, then making a very positive interaction with the sun. The sun, of course, in Capricorn energy. This is earth on earth action. We love earth on earth action because, first of all, it anchors us in reality. Last couple of days, we've been kind of floating off into space. It was a necessary part of the process in order to get in touch with our heart, with our soul, with what it is that we want to pursue, what it is that we need to do. But a lot of that wasn't anchored in reality. It was just a vibe. It was just a feeling. It was just an idea. Earth energy brings us back down to earth, anchors us into this earth plane, gives us insight by taking a good look around at our physical environment, what needs to stay, what needs to go. The sun and the moon coming together always illuminate a new level of awareness of wants, needs, and desires and how to go about actually getting them. This particular energy is about where in our physical lives, in our day-to-day lives, is there a problem? Meaning, the old version of self, built, routines, relationships, money matters that we depend on, that we cycle through each and every single day. What out of that is something that is actually hindering you from moving on and moving forward? Earth energy, we get stuck in habits, in routines. Virgo energy needs you to realize where it is that the bad habits need to go, that the smaller details of how you move throughout your day are actually setting you up for long-term success or long-term failure. And it's time to get organized. It's time to shit or get off the pot. It's time to get out of your headspace and out of your own damn way in order to actually see where it is that you're blocking your own progress and path, and where it is that you can free it up at the snap of the fingers. The last thing that we got going on here today is the moon in this Virgo energy, making a very tough interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer, who's now direct in this Aries energy. So because this is not such the greatest aspect, we're going to be sitting more in the wounds than we are in the ability to actually heal them. That's not problematic. We expect that. The moon in Virgo, especially when we first move into this Virgo energy, it's all about picking ourselves and our lives and our headspace and our emotions and everything that we're doing, picking it apart to see where it is that, guess what, there's problems, where it is that we have to come up with solutions, where it is that we have to kind of, flip the script and have a better narrative or a better perspective on our physical realms. And therefore, this is a particular time where, emotionally speaking, we're probably going to beat ourselves up and break ourselves down. It's a necessary part of the process in order for this new version of self to be very aware where it is that we're still stuck in the bad habits, the bad narratives, the bad perspectives, the bad emotions of that old version of self. So although it doesn't feel good, we have a lot to gain from realizing where it is that it's our inner dialogue, our inner narrative, our perspective that is actually setting us up for failure, and where it is that we have the power and control to flip that script and set us up for success.